Okay. I'm sorry. Way too much stuff. Way too much stuff came out this weekend. Like, Hellbound came out, Cowboy Bebop came out, He-Man came out. Like, two animes I watched came out. Your boy was swamped. Not to mention the fact that tomorrow was going to be the release for Hawkeye. So I'm probably staying up for that. But holy shit. Let's talk about Cowboy Bebop. And I feel as though Cowboy Bebop's really been getting a bad rap from the anime community, which it's understandable. Like, when it comes to the anime community, anything that comes out as a live adaptation of a beloved anime is instantaneously going to get hate. There's just going to be people out there who, no matter how good the adaptation may be, they're going to hate it because they're purists. They only enjoy watching the anime. They don't enjoy watching it in another form, which it's extremely funny to me because these exact same people are the ones that I go and watch Marvel movies with. So you're fine with a comic book to live adaptation with the MCU, but you're not fine with an anime, with a manga to an anime to a live adaptation on Netflix, which is understandable because there are some really shitty adaptations out there. And I'm fucking looking at you, Death Note. But I enjoyed Cowboy Bebop. First off, the intro. Oh, Cowboy Bebop's intro is just so fucking classic, and the live adaptation of the intro is it's just as fucking good. It's just one of those things where I don't find myself ever skipping the intro for this series. And I would say that for the most part, the first episode, super by the books. It's basically an introduction to not only the characters but the feel of the world. Whereas before, when I used to watch the anime, I used to feel as though it was like cyberpunky. But now that I've actually watched the live adaptation, then gone back and watched the anime since they're both on Netflix, I've actually realized that it's not cyberpunk at all. It's more like futuristic noir, where it's essentially the future. Yes, there is future technology, most definitely, but the feel of the world is like the 1940s, 1950s, maybe the 1920s. And it's super fucking dope. Like, I absolutely enjoy that feel. I love the fact that they were able to perfectly transition that from the anime into a live adaptation. And holy shit, can I just say that everything looks amazing in this. The production value for not only the set designs, but for Spike when he gets into his ship and he takes off, for the Bebop, for other ships, for robots, for special abilities, all of those, mwah, fantastic, love it. Musical choices, fantastic, love it. There's just so many nice hints and callbacks to the anime itself that made really good jumps. Now, one of the other things that I would honestly say that's also extremely well done from the anime to the live adaptation is definitely giving the villains a little bit more depth. Whereas the anime tends to have a villain of the episode where somebody shows up, they do something fucked up, they get their ass kicked, and then like you never see them again unless they're like a main player. The show actually delves into, how do I even put it? The show really does a good job of delving into the psyche of the characters. Like the opening where Spike decides to stop and have a conversation with one of the marks that he's chasing. A perfect discussion between Spike, somebody who used to be a member of the syndicate, and someone who's actually running away from essentially a pampered life. And he's trying to essentially talk her down. But not only Spike, but the other villains that get introduced as well, all of them have personality, which I kind of feel as though for some of them, especially in the anime, some of the villains really kind of miss their mark personality wise. Everybody has their favorite villains from the anime, but a lot of the villains, I would say probably all the villains in the series more or less stand out. Now, here's where we're definitely going to get, I don't know how my trash can went. Here's where we're definitely going to get to the more controversial, which is I actually prefer John Cho's Spike Spiegel more than the anime version of Spike. And like I know, hold on, pitchforks, I know, but hear me out. When you watch the anime, a lot of Spike's backstory is left to the imagination. A lot of it is flashbacks that don't have context. Like, you really feel as though you're either an amnesiac or you're forcefully trying to forget, essentially, memories. This version of Spike is absolutely fantastic, which is you see him lean into the syndicate part of him where he doesn't have any qualms killing people, and it's absolutely badass. Like, if for nothing you don't want to watch the series, but you want to dip a toe in to see whether or not it's good, go and watch episodes 8, 9, and 10. All you gotta do is watch those 3 episodes. If you've watched the anime, go and watch episodes 8, 9, and 10. 8, 9, and 10 will probably completely change your mind on the entire thing and make you go back and watch it from the beginning. The dude who they cast is Jet, whose name I completely fucking forgot. He does a fantastic job. Like, I'm sorry, I am 100% horrible when it comes to remembering people's names. So, like, typically I'll have the information up here so that I can, like, look at it while I remember their names. Mustafa Shakir, fantastic as Jet. Daniela Pineda, she grew on me as Faye, which is when her character first showed up, it felt like she was doing like a really bad impression of Faye. But by the time you get, I'd say probably around episode 5 or 6, she kind of grows on you like she does the other characters on the Bebop, as kind of like the little sister. Elena Satine as Julia. I prefer this version of Julia to the Julia in the anime, because the Julia in the anime is essentially, how do you even describe it? She's a trophy, essentially. Like, she's a trophy for Vicious, but then she's also a trophy for Spike. She's essentially a damsel in distress, where she's been hiding for so long, and she comes out of hiding, and then she gets back together with Spike, and then she instantaneously dies, and then that's the end of, like, her journey in the anime. This version of Julie is fantastic, because you actually get to see the growth, which is, by the time you get to the end of it, you're like, wait a minute. This bitch orchestrate every single bad thing that happened to my boy to get to where she is right now. So I definitely prefer this version of Julia to the Julia from the anime, most definitely. Now, Vicious. Yo, Alex Hassell, I don't even know how to put this, bro, but like, man, oh boy, I love and hate your Vicious. When he first shows up, it felt like a 1-to-1, where he was trying to basically maintain and keep the personality of the Vicious from the anime. But yo, when we get to episode 2, that goes completely out the fucking window. He gives 0 fucks about pretending to be Vicious anymore. He's just off doing his own fucking thing, and I love it. His Vicious has like emotion and rage and understanding, and you get where he's coming from, and you feel sorry for that motherfucker, and then you don't feel sorry for him, and then he ends up in a situation you're like, you're fucking deserve it, but then he wins another situation and you're like, fuck yeah, because fuck those other people. It's absolutely fantastic. Like, I love when you can take a character, flip it, and make me not hate your character, but appreciate the fact that this is just basically a different version of a character that you've presented to me already. And yes, like, I can't wait, and I'm really hoping that they get a season 2. Please do a season 2, because I like this show. This show is really good. As a fan of Cowboy Bebop, like, I appreciate and I love the anime, but I can honestly sit down and look at this and go, this is probably the best live adaptation Netflix has ever done. And damn, that's a really low bar. That's a really low bar. But at the exact same time, it's true. I'm not lying. Yeah, not lying. Definitely my favorite live adaptation that Netflix has across the board done. There are definitely going to be a couple other things that I want to talk about. Radical Ed's going to get her own video, even though she's in the series for like 10 whole seconds. The way in which this ends definitely sets it up for something super dope, which is probably going to be in another video that I'm going to talk about. But yeah, if you are a fan of the Cowboy Bebop anime and you weren't really sure about checking out and enjoying the Cowboy Bebop live adaptation on Netflix, I say go and check it out. It is definitely a good time. You are definitely going to fucking enjoy it. I promise you. And if you don't believe me, I would say just skip all the way to the end and check out episodes. I'd even throw an extra episode in there. Check out episodes 7, 8, 9, and 10. Check out those last 4 episodes, and they will completely fucking change your mind. Where'd the button go? There's a button.